Welcome back to Forgotten Hollywood. I love Jaws. It is one of my very, very, very favorite movies in the horror genre. And really, of all genres overall, it probably would still make my top 10 movies of all time. It's what I classify as cinematic gold. The only thing is, I don't remember when I saw it for the first time. So, to prepare for this video, because I have already done a video on Jaws years ago, for this one, I didn't want to just talk about the technical making of Jaws, which is what I focused on there. You know, who was in it, how did they do it, stuff like that. I want to talk about the impact of Jaws, the reaction to Jaws. So I watched dozens of reaction channels watching Jaws for the first time. And seeing how people my age, younger than me, are watching those crucial moments, you know, hearing the music, seeing the girl swimming above you as you get closer and closer, and they're going, wait, it's too soon. You can't have the shark get someone now. We're only 5 minutes in. Oh yeah, they did. To see what people pick up on, what they notice. And also, I saw a lot of what they missed. One of the things that I noticed watching this across the board with dozens of reaction channels, I probably watched close to 50 reactions for Jaws alone. And what I noticed was no one saw that shark coming out of the water, biting the man from the red boat, pulling him down, and went, looks fake. No. None of them did that. All of them were like, oh, it's huge. It's huge. It's right there. It's right there. A leg. That was more the reaction you got. This is 50 years later. These are practical effects. They were terrifying people. It's so amazing to me that almost nobody commented on the shark not looking real. Everyone was scared of the shark. Everyone thought the shark looked awesome. Everyone thought it was so scary. And you had very, very few people commenting on the shark not looking 100% like a real shark. Another thing that they noticed, which is hard to miss, is that the shark breaks the rules. With modern horror movies, you'll have a 2-hour movie, and the first 40 to 60 minutes will be introducing all the characters, letting you know what their relationships are, how the drama is playing out, where the tensions are, where the love triangles are, and then about halfway through, you get the first death. This does not follow the rules of modern horror, which took a lot of people by surprise because, of course, they're used to modern movies. In fact, one channel commented that this was the oldest movie they had ever seen. That kind of shocked me because I have Charlie Chaplin and the Marx Brothers on my shelf. Anyway, I digress. Not only does the shark kill right off the bat, but also look at who the victims are. You have a young woman, first victim. Okay, that happens a lot. Watch any of these guys, you'll know. That's the common victim. Then you had a dog. I cannot tell you how many of these reaction channels seemed more upset about the dog than Chrissy. But you had the dog. You don't even see the dog. You just see the dog's toy floating in the water, and the dog is no longer there. You know what happened. You don't see anything. But that had so much impact on people because it's a dog. You don't hurt dogs. You don't hurt animals. And then third victim is a little boy, a child. And from a storytelling standpoint, this lets people know no one is safe. You're not going to get out of this because you're a good person. You're not going to get out of this because you're a child or a woman or a man or an animal. Everything is fair game when it comes to the shark. And the other fairly obvious thing that I noticed in watching these is everyone sides with Chief Brody. Everyone connects to Chief Brody. And that's because Chief Brody is an everyman. He is the stand-in for the audience in a job that no one in the audience would have wanted. Somewhere, somehow, you can relate to this guy. I also want to address a few things people miss And the first thing is what a summer town means. Now, a lot of people automatically villainize the mayor for telling Brody, no, you can't close the beaches. But let me put this into a perspective for those who don't know what a summer town is and don't really understand that concept. Imagine that your livelihood, your family business, was a seasonal event space. And during spring break, it's the Easter Bunny Village. You got the Easter Bunny, you've got games, you've got, maybe you're selling fruits or flowers or stuff like that. You make some money during spring, but only for about a week or two. And then in summer, you got maybe a week for the 4th of July, where you have fireworks shows and apple pies, all sorts of stuff that you can sell, the activities that you can do, people will come. But it'd be really hard to stretch out longer than a week for a single day holiday. But then your big season comes in the fall, where you can have a pumpkin patch and a haunted house and costume contests, selling vegetables, maybe pumpkin carving contests, all sorts of things to bring people in to spend money at your event space. But that doesn't go past October 31st. And then you get to the end of November. It's now Santa's Village. Kids are coming to see Santa. You've got holiday events. You've got games, toys, gifts, all sorts of stuff at your Santa's Village that people can come to. Biggest event of the year. And it runs from the day after Thanksgiving until December 24th. So with all of these together, your family is making money about 3 months of the year. And all the money that they make during those 3 months has to sustain your family for the other 9 months of the year. So it's very, very important that you get every customer you can in there. You get every event that you can get. You put on. Every day that you can be open is important. Now imagine that the police told you someone was killed nearby and you had to shut down for 4 days at the end of November. You're going to miss the day after Thanksgiving. And you're going, okay, I'm very sorry that someone was killed, but do I have to? Because you're talking possibly 10% of your total income for the entire year in those 4 days. It's a big deal. And so the mayor is the mayor of a summer town. He has to look out for the prosperity of the town. And he's going, okay, a shark killed a girl. Yes, that is terrible. But do we know the shark is still here? Do we know it's going to kill again? We have to risk people losing potentially 10% of their income for the full year because we can't do the 4th of July, one of the biggest tourist days for that town. And so, yeah, early on, when he first found out about Chrissy, I can actually understand the mayor saying, hey, you're rushing into something here. This is a summer town. We need summer dollars. And so he kind of talks it down so that they can stay open. However, after the second death of the little boy, I think he should have backed off more. I think he should have known at that point, okay, we've had 2 killings in a week. Obviously, there's a shark around here, so we need to take precautions. And especially on the actual 4th of July, when there were huge crowds of people in Amity Island, and they were there, they were spending money in the shops, they were on the beach, they just weren't in the water. Why did he have to push them to go in the water? They were there, they were having fun, they were enjoying themselves, there were shops, you could ride bikes, you could fly kites, you could build sandcastles. You don't have to go in the water at the beach to enjoy yourself. So that, I thought he went way too far, and lose all sympathy for him at that point. Another thing people miss is something about Quint. Quint is Captain Ahab chasing the white whale. Quint is basically insane once he gets on this hunt, and he just obsessively, he has to catch the shark. He has to catch the shark. No one else can catch the shark. It has to be him, which is why he smashes the radio when Chief Brody tries to call for help, which is why he is pushing the engine as it is smoking behind him. And Hooper and Brody are going, "What are you thinking? You're going to get us all killed." But he doesn't care about that because he's on the hunt and he's got the taste for this shark and he's going to get this shark if it kills him. Which is, of course, the fate of all Captain Ahabs. And the last thing I want to mention is that Hooper didn't have to be there. Hooper was not there for money. He was about to go on to this dream job where he could just be on a boat studying sharks for months. But he passed up that. He passed up anything else that he might have been doing because he knew there was a dangerous shark. And he knew nobody on the island, save Quint, had any idea what to do with a shark. Any idea about the behaviors of a shark, where they go, how they feed. He knew all of that. And he stayed when he didn't have to. He had a place he was planning to go. But he stayed put. And he missed his opportunity to go on this research vessel because he knew that the people of Amity Island needed him there. And he could have just been like, "Here's a book about sharks. Here's what you need to know. Bye." But no, he stayed. He didn't have to. He didn't have to put up with Quint, but he did. And that's why Hooper is actually my favorite character in the movie. In summary, Jaws is lightning in a bottle. It had this perfect cast. The problems with production made it actually better in the way that everything played out, and it was actually a fluke that it became the first summer blockbuster because it was taking too long to make, so it missed its deadline for being released at Christmas. So I think it was actually more of a punishment that it was moved to summer because that's where they sent movies to die before 1975. And Jaws turned the tables. Jaws became the standard for a summer blockbuster. So, Jaws started the summer movie season back in 1975. And even now, 50 years later, people are still afraid to go in the water. Thanks for watching. What are your thoughts on Jaws? Which character is your favorite? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the bell for notifications, and I will catch up with you next time.